Hello and hello everybody, my name is Lucy and welcome to Books and Brushes. So today we are doing a challenge. You know I love a good challenge tag thing, and today we're doing Jessie the Reader's How Well Do I Know My Books challenge. So this challenge is you pick random books and you get asked random questions that get progressively harder. Half of the books on the shelf I've probably read, half of them probably not. And I'm not going to take out the ones I haven't read, so see how well I do with that. So I've got all the questions here and two different number generators, so I'm going to generate my numbers, pick my books, and let's just get started. So the first numbers I've generated are 6 and 13, and that book is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I have read this book, so I have pretty much got this one down. So the question for this is, without looking at the description, what is this book about? I think everyone could do this without, I mean, come on. So this book is about an ingenious scientist called Victor Frankenstein who has an obsession with creating life, and he locks himself away and manages to create a human being out of dead body parts. And this monster ends up being called Frankenstein's monster, and it chases him, and it has a whole moral dilemma complex about what is life, is he alive, does he have any rights, and he goes on a murderous rampage. So that's what it's about. I don't even need to look at the description to know I'm right, but let's do it anyway. Literally on the back of this book, it doesn't even explain the plot. It just explains the historical significance of this classic. So even the book agrees that I didn't need to describe it, so I think I won that one. My next two numbers are 6 and 17, and for that book I've picked out Karen Brady's Strong Woman, and the question is, what genre of book is this in? It's an autobiography. Is there genres of autobiographies? I don't think so. It's an autobiography. It's a self-depiction of one's life. So I've just double checked, yeah, autobiography is a genre, so check. My next numbers are 4 and 26. So the next one I picked was Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters, and the reason I'm not holding it up is because I'm not supposed to look at the cover, because the question is, without looking, tell us what's on the cover. I have different editions to the normal ones you tend to see online. My ones are really boring. They're just a realistic picture of Percy with a weapon and the cover is green. I don't know how to describe it more than that. Like, I think he's got like a shield or a sword. He's like in an action pose. Yep, that's about it. Let's have a look. Right? He's a realistic Percy in an action pose, carrying a sword with a green background. So I think I nailed it. I could have said that there was like a gust of water behind him and that he was drenched, but how much detail did this question require? I mean, I think I got that right. Yeah? I'm going to count that as a win. Well, it's going well so far. Famous last words. So the next numbers are 5 and 1. So the next book I picked out was The Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, and the question is, without looking or checking, what is the main character's first name? Now I know this one, the character's first name is Lyra. I've just looked it up, the main character's name is indeed Lyra Belacqua. Did I need to get her last name? Because I feel like I could have come up with that if I really thought about it, but I didn't think to say it. I still know who her name is, so again, counting that as a win, but if you'd like to go down in the comments and tell me how I should be more strict with myself, go ahead. I've just got the song from the end of that movie in my head where it goes, Lyra. Like, that's what I got in my head now. Next numbers are 2 and 21. So the next book I picked out was A Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Feeling pretty good, this one can't really stump me. And the question is, without checking, name a side character. Well, I could name you all of them. We've got Peter, Gale, Joanna, Beatty, Boggs, Coin. I mean, how many of these do you want? Annie, Prim, Haymitch, Effie, Snow, Plutarch. I mean, I win, right? The next numbers are 1 and 13. The book I picked for that was A Replica by Lauren Oliver. And the question is, without looking, how many page numbers is it? And if I guess above or below 25 within, I get it. So I think I get like a 50 range of closeness. I don't know for this one. Like, even a book I know very well, I think this would be difficult to guess the exact number of pages. Like, I couldn't tell you the page count in Unwind. And this I've read once. Well, looking at it, it's pretty chunky, but I remember Lauren Oliver's writing especially, there's a lot of chapters that aren't full, and there's two different, like, this is basically two books in one because of two perspectives on each side. Oh, yeah, because this book is reversed, so is there going to be the same amount forward as back? Is it going to be like one total page count, or is there going to be two different ones? I've picked the wrong book for this question. Oh no. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this book has two different characters. So it has Gemma and it has Lyra, and they're both telling the same story but from their point of view. So the book is like literally split down the middle, and one half is Lyra and the other is Gemma, and they intersect. So you read one and then the other, or you can like go back and forth. Oh, but it's not like it's not like a normal book layout. There's not one continuous format. Okay, I'm gonna say that this book has 475 pages at the back of the Lyra section. I'm not confident about this. So this is the middle of the book, which is where the page count will end, because it starts again from 1 in the minute. Yeah, it's confusing. So at the end of the Lyra section, it got to 236. So yeah, fail. But if you see what I mean here, so this is the last page of the Lyra section. Then you get the middle, and then the rest is upside down because you have to flip the book and read it. Like, can you see all the words are upside down? Can you see all the upside down words? So you have to flip it and start from the beginning again. Yeah, either way, I failed. I think maybe if you added up that, it would have been about almost 500 pages in total. Yeah, that was a tough one. I don't think I can give myself that one. The next numbers are 1 and 26. So the book I landed on was Everlost by Neal Shusterman, but the question is, what rating did you give this book without looking it up? And I haven't read that book yet. So what I did is I just picked the closest book that was to that one, and that was Outside by Sarah Ann Jukes. Now, I read this pretty recently, so I should be able to remember. I know I loved it, but what rating did I give it? It was definitely more than a 7. I don't think it was a 9. I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10 was my rating. So let me go check. Okay, so I looked and I rated it an 8. Yeah, I don't think that counts. Damn it! I was really close there, but just a 0.5 out. It wasn't far, but I don't think it was on the money. So the next numbers are 3 and 18, and I picked out Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. And the question is, without looking, where does this book take place? Now, I know it's in a fictional world that resembles Japan. Do I need to remember the name? Because at this present moment, I don't. I can't even remember when I read this book. I think it was late last year. So it was a while ago. Oh, I don't remember the name of the Japanese land. Oh, bum. It's like, because I just read Children of Blood and Bone, I know that takes place in a fictional African-inspired world called Orisha, but I just read that, so I remember the name. This I read almost a year ago, so I can't remember what the name of the world was. No, I can't think of it, so I'm going to guess Oritashi. That sounds Japanese. So there's a map in the beginning of this book, and it says Empire of Iwagato, so I think that probably would have been the answer, but I never would have remembered that. So Iwagato, there we are. I knew it was Japanese. The next numbers are 2 and 4, and that book is Ink by Alice Broadway. And the question is, without looking, what are the parents' names? See, she definitely has parents. She has a mum in this, and I think her dad's just died, and she's trying to figure out the mystery of her dad's death. So the parents are pretty prominent in this story. I can't blame it on the parents not being around. I just don't remember anyone's name in this book. I can't even remember the main character's name at this point, let alone the parents. Mary, and Jack. Those weren't complete guesses. At the current moment I'm trying to look for it on Google and I'm struggling to find their names. I'm struggling to find them in the book as well, so give me another minute. Okay, so I found out the mum's name is Sophie. So there's one, which isn't Mary. I mean, let's face it, the dad's name's probably not going to be Jack. Okay, I think I found it and I think his name is Joel. I know I've lost. See, the problem with that is she calls them mum and dad through most of the story. So I had to find in the book a reference where like a friend was talking about them or something to find out the names, which as you can imagine took a bit of time to trawl through the book to find those names and then to confirm that it was who I thought he was talking about. That was a tricky one to figure out because Google was just not, it wasn't coming through for me there. So the next numbers are 5 and 11. Unfortunately, this one is about a hardcover and most of my books are paperbacks. So there is literally no hardcovers on shelf 5. So I'm going to try and regenerate that number and do a different shelf. Okay, so I've got shelf 1. Okay, so again, 11 is paperback, so I'm going to go with the closest one that is a hardcover. The closest is Replica, but we've already used that, and the other closest, I will use that one. And that book was Batman Nightwalker by Mary Lou. And the question is, what colour is the hardback underneath the dust jacket? So I've never read this book, in fact I barely touched it since I bought it. It's also under a huge stack of other books, which is why it was a nightmare to get out of my shelf. But I think, I mean, it's got to be black, right? Surely, the Dark Knight himself. I'm just going to go with that. Black. I mean, if it was any other colour, that would have just been wrong. So again, the next one is a hardback, so I'm having to do the same kind of shuffle. So we got the numbers 1 and 27. So the book I landed on was Everworld by Neal Shusterman, but again, not a hardback. I keep landing on that series without being able to use it. Which is probably good because I've never read it. The closest book on that shelf that is a hardback is Restore Me by Tahara Mafi. And the question is, without looking beneath the dust jacket, is there any kind of imprint or image? I don't know. I'm not sure on this one. I'm trying to think if there was an image, what would it be? An eye? No, I just think it's blank. I think there's obviously the words on the spine, but other than that, let's have a look. Yay! Blank front cover, words on the spine, exactly what I said. Woohoo! Okay, the next one is another hardback one, so let's see what we can do. So I've got the numbers 1 and 10. The one I actually landed on was Prodigy by Marie Lu, but that's not a hardback. The closest one would either be Batman or Replica, but again, we've done both ends of that. The next closest really was probably Requiem by Lauren Oliver. I also could have picked Warcross, but I think this one was closer just in proximity to Prodigy. I ended up going with this one. And the question is, without looking, what colour is the font on the hardback? Been a while since I took the dust jacket off, so I'm not 100% sure. I think it's got to be a silver or a blue. It's definitely metallic. I'm gonna go with I think it's a silvery blue. Is that cheating, going with 2 colours? But it is like a grey toned blue. I'm gonna say blue, to be specific. But if it is just plain silver, I'm gonna be mad. This is The Naked, and yes, it definitely is a silvery blue, and it's blue. I got that right. To be fair, that one wasn't too difficult. You could tell by the colour scheme of the front what kind of colour it was gonna be, so... Why does the smell of these books give me nostalgia? This book in particular just smells really good. So the next numbers are 4 and 9. And that is a book I just picked up the other day. Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. This is the sequel to City of Ghosts. I have not read it yet. I literally only just picked this book up, as you can tell, because it's only just come out. And the question is, are the chapter headers numbered or do they have titles? Now I'm guessing it would be the same as City of Ghosts. But I also can't remember if City of Ghosts have numbers or words. I think they might have had words. The majority of books, I would say, have just plain numbers, but middle grades tend to have words as headers, and I don't know, I feel like that book would have had words for headers. Yeah, no, I just feel like that's right, so I'm gonna go with that. I was wrong, it's just numbers. Damn it! The next numbers are 6 and 20. So the next book I picked out was Michael McIntyre's Life and Laughing. And again, I'm not holding it up because it says, without looking at the cover, does it have any awards on it? And it's an autobiography, so I'm pretty sure that it doesn't. So let's have a look. No awards. 1 and done. So the next numbers are 1 and 8. Where did the sun go? Sorry, next numbers are 1 and 8. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix the weird lighting that's going on. So that book is The Midnight Star by Mary Lou, and again, no cover because the question is, without looking at it, is there any author blurbs on the book? Now, Mary Lou's pretty infamous and friendly with a lot of the authors. I feel like this is one of her early series, but still not, I don't think it was her first, so I think probably, yeah, it probably would have had some author blurbs on it. I don't know for sure, but I think it would have, so let's have a look. Not one author blurb. I thought it would have. Come on, authors, where are you at? But no, not one on the front, not one on the back. No author blurbs for Midnight Star. Sorry. The next numbers are 11 and 3. The book for this one is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. And the question is, without looking at the back, does it have a description? I think this question is pretty easy. Most books have a description, although I guess Frankenstein didn't. But most books do, and yeah, this is the first book of the series. 100% has a description on the back. There it is. Definitely a description. I was very, very confident on that one. Next numbers are 5 and 11. And that book is Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. And the question is, does it have an author photo on it? It's paperback, which are less likely to have author photos on. Sometimes they're on the back or in the inside cover. I feel like author photos are one of those things that are on a lot of books and you don't notice. I think there isn't one, but I'm gonna say that there is. And hope that my reverse psychology trick is not gonna backfire on me. Okay, there's no author photo on the front, but then again, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, there's nothing on the inside. Oh, nothing on the back inside either. Oh, thank God, there's one on the back. The last place I looked. But yeah, this tiny little photo of Nicola right there. I thought I'd royally screwed that one up there, but whew. The next numbers are 4 and 8, and that book is City of Ghosts by Nicola Schwab. Nicola Schwab? What? By Victoria Schwab. Wow, my brain's just, all the wires are crossed right now. The question for this one is, without looking, is this author using a pen name? And I'm pretty confident that Victoria Schwab, Victoria, is definitely her name. I mean, Schwab is an unusual name to pick if you're gonna pick a fake name. I know a lot of authors have fake names that you don't even know, but I'm pretty sure that Victoria Schwab is her real name. Yep, so I have just double checked. Her name is definitely Victoria Schwab, Victoria Elizabeth Schwab. V.E. Schwab, there you go, because most of her books have V.E. on rather than Victoria. The next numbers are 4 and 11. I'm getting to that point where I can't remember if I've used the same numbers, so I'm getting books that are like next to other books I've already chosen. And that book happens to be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, my most early original copy. This one should be pretty easy. And the question for this one is, without looking, what POV is this book written in, first or third? Wait, POV is tense, not POV. Come on, Jessie! This book is definitely written in third person from Harry's point of view. Although it's not always Harry's point of view, because there are a few chapters where it's written from a different point of view. Like the very first chapter of this book's like looking at Dumbledore, and then the next one is like looking at Dursley. But yeah, anyway, stop rambling. Either way, overall, this book is mostly written from Harry Potter's point of view in a third person tense. Yeah, let's have a look, as if I need to look. On Friday, no fewer than 12 letters arrived for Harry. Yeah, it's definitely talking about Harry in the third person. So definitely a third person tense, and the main character who it follows is Harry Potter. I'd be pretty stupid to get that wrong. Or just having a real moment. The next numbers are 5 and 19. Now, the book I've picked for this is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl. I've not yet read this book, but the question is, without looking, are there any graphics in the book? I'm guessing by graphics it means pictures, or like kind of, you know, when they have formats that look like it's email or anything like that. I haven't read this book, so I don't know. Graphics are less common than just plain text. This is like a thriller. I don't see why there would be any graphics in this, so I'm gonna go for no graphics. Yeah, I've just had a speedy flip through the whole book. I couldn't see any graphics. It's pretty plain actually, so I'm definitely counting that as a win. The next numbers are 3 and 7, and for that one I have picked Frostblood by Ellie Blake. And the question is, without looking, does this book have an epilogue? Now, I have read this book, and it was fairly recently. Was it at the beginning of the year? So not that recently. Okay, maybe not that recently. Does it have an epilogue? I think it had a prologue. That's not the question. It's the first in a series. Is there usually epilogues in the first of a series? That's usually a standalone or like kind of last book in a series thing, right? I don't actually remember, so I'm gonna say no epilogue. Yep, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, definitely no epilogue. Ends on chapter 27 and there's nothing after that. The next two numbers are 1 and 4, and for that book I've picked my horrible edition of Legend by Marie Lu. And the question is, does this book have a prologue? Same kind of similar question as before. I think it could. It would make sense. I'm trying to think what the prologue would be, or did it just go straight into chapter 1? No, I can't think what the prologue would have been, because it starts off with Day as an outlaw, and June in the military, mourning her brother's death. So what would the prologue even be? No, I'm going to say no prologue, just because I can't think what that would have been. Yeah, so I'm pretty confident that I've gone through this book now, and it definitely says nothing about a prologue. It starts off, the first chapter's from Day, and it's Day, June, so no prologue to be seen. Yay! So the next numbers are 6 and 10, and for that book I have picked out Watership Down by Richard Adams, and the question is this book signed? Well, no. I'm pretty sure that this classic is not signed, so I mean, let's have a look. Shocking! Not signed. The next numbers are 4 and 22. So the book I picked for this one is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by these people. Not gonna say their names. And the question is, without looking, do the page numbers have a design above or below them, or nothing at all? It feels like this book would be the type of book to have decorative numbers, but then again it's a play script, so would it be a bit more dialed back? It says page numbers, not chapter numbers, so that would be at the bottom. I'm going to say it doesn't. For a play script that just seems a bit weird, so I'm going to say no. Yep, I'm correct. The page numbers do not have anything near them, although the chapter headers did have a little graphic near it, so if that had been the question, I would have been a bit in trouble. But yeah, the page numbers don't have anything. So the next numbers I've picked are 6 and 20. I have picked Lee Evans, The Life of Lee, and the question for this one is, do the chapter headers have any graphics above or below, or none at all? Autobiography, Life of Lee, is quite a somber story in a lot of respects. Funny, but it doesn't strike me as the type of book that would have any graphics up top. Like, what even would the graphic be? So I'm going to say no. Yeah, plain as old day. Thank you, Lee. The next numbers are 5 and 18, and that book is The Sacrifice Box by Martin Stewart. Now, I have not read this book yet, and the question is, do the acknowledgements appear in the beginning or the end of the book? Now, like I said, I haven't read it. This is going to have to be a pure guess. Acknowledgements tend to be at the end, or at least it annoys me when they're in the beginning. I like them when they're at the end. And most books are at the end, so I'm just going to say they're at the end. How many times do I have to say at the end? Wow. Yeah, acknowledgements at the end. You didn't let me down, Sacrifice Box. The next numbers are 3 and 12. And for that book, I have The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. What year did this book come out? I don't really know. Right, I'm trying to think. I read this later than the buzz of it when it came out, so I've got no frame of reference to when this would have been. It's fairly recent but fairly old. I'm gonna say 2015, maybe? I mean, pure guess. The 17th of September 2003. Ooh, I wasn't that far off. Damn, I was only a couple of years out, which isn't too bad, but I didn't get it, so. The next numbers are 5 and 16, and for that book I have The Girl in the Window by Penny Jolson. Ha! The question for this one is super easy. It's nice to end on a high, and that question is, what year did you read this book? This year! I read this book during the reading rush, so that was July 2019. I can even tell you the month. Nay, I could probably even tell you the week and the day, because when the reading rush took place, I mean, I could look it up and verify, but I did, so there you go. If you want to go back and look at my July wrap-up to just confirm, why don't you go do that? I fully condone that. And that is the end of the How Well Do You Know Your Books challenge. I've been filming forever. I've got an appointment to go to soon, so I'm like kind of tick-tock. But I had loads of fun doing this challenge. It was quite difficult in places, quite easy in other places. I have absolutely decimated my shelves, so I'm gonna have to fix that, or maybe fix it when I get back. We will see. Thank you so much for watching. How well do you think I did? Let me know down in the comments how well you think I did. Was there any that I was robbed on, or that I kind of was a bit lax? And if you were to do this challenge, what do you think the hardest question would be? I would like to know. So I will see you in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. And if you're not already subscribed, come on and join my little growing family. I have about 50-ish subscribers right now. I've had a little influx of you, so if you are one of those people who've just subbed to me, thank you so much. Please everyone come join the family. I just want to say I like woke up on a couple of mornings last week to have like 3 people subscribe in one night. I know that sounds really pathetic, but to me that means something, so thank you. Please like this video if you like me doing these kinds of challenges, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!